Hey guys, morning. I hope you're all good. Hope you're all having a great week. It's actually Saturday now, so as you can see, the video's a little bit more static. No more running for a train today. So I thought I'd do a little bit of a catch-up video, and also something I want to talk about, which I think is a bit like the cornerstone of acting. But I'll be on to that in a minute. First of all, so much thanks for all the people that have been commenting, that have been talking about the videos this week. I've had loads of people, hi Joe, I've had loads of people ask me questions about them, which is brilliant because I don't have all the answers. I've discovered things that I think work for me, and you'll discover things that work for you. But hopefully, this will give you a little bit of a little bit of a push on to find out a bit more. Yeah, loads of people commented on the videos, which is brilliant. I've had loads of hits on. Lots of people have been, saying how much they like them, and some people have been questioning things, and that's all good. That's fine. What I want to talk about today is something which I think is really important as far in acting is concerned. Is that when if you take a play or a TV show or something, it's been written by a writer. Okay, now just hang with me because I know this might sound really bizarre, but that writer has written the play. They have sat down, they've thought about it, they have written the words that they want the actors to say. So if you think about it, in a way, when you compose an email to a friend or a letter, you sit down at your computer, at your table, whatever, and you sit down and you think about what you want to say in your email. You work it out, as you don't plan it really, but you go, right, I really want to say this in total in my email. I want to ask a favour, I want to borrow something, anything, but you've got a crux of what you want to say, but you construct the email and the message in whatever style works for you. You would say something like, "Dear, hi Susan, how are you doing? I hope you're having a really great week. I'd really like to borrow your lawnmower," or something. But all those things that you've decided, right, step by step, I want to say these things because I want to achieve this by the end of my message. It might just be just to say hello to somebody, but you want to achieve something by the end of your message. In the same way, a writer writes their play and writes their story in a way that they want to get a message across in a scene. It might be a scene of love, a scene of hate, a scene of denial. It could be just an everyday scene which builds up to a more powerful scene later. But what I mean is they've constructed the play, the show, to be one step at a time. They've thought about it and they've gone, right, okay, this is what I want to achieve. Bringing it back to you performing and you acting in something, I believe that one of the cornerstones is you have to understand what the actor, what the playwright, what the person is trying to achieve. Okay, it's no use of stumbling through it. You have to understand what they're trying to say. Okay, so what you need to read through what that writer is trying to say, and gain, to use a term from my old drama school, to gain information from it. But it's actually true. It's actually to gain information from it. And you're going to say, well, how do I gain information from it? Well, I'm going to give you something that is something I've written a book called "It's All in the Lines," and I think that is one of the fundamental things to acting. It's all there. It's all written for you because that writer has sat down and thought of what to say. Now, you can't go and ask the writer and go, "Oi, Brian, what did you mean by this?" Because probably they're not sitting next to you. So you can't really ask them. Shakespeare, a little bit difficult to ask because he's dead. But, and that's a little bit of another whole thing to get into, Shakespeare. But you have to work out what the writer is trying to say. Okay, right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to flick to a page in my book, and I'm just going to go through something. And so bear with me on the moment, because I've just lost my page, which is brilliant. Okay, what I want you to look at, okay, this is a line that you don't know where this line's come from. This line is just a line of dialogue, and there is no information with this line. You don't know who wrote it. In fact, I just made it up out of nowhere. You don't know who wrote it. You don't know the style. When you do plays and shows, sometimes you can go, oh, Pinter, it's written in this sort of way, or Eightborn, oh, it's written in this sort of way. You get an idea, but this is something that I want you to try and take on and understand right from the start. Hi, Bob. Understand right from the start what the writer is trying to say, but this is a line out of nowhere. So I'm just going to give you the line. I'm actually going to put it in text below the video, so you'll be able to see it. So the line is, "What's wrong with you this time?" That's the line. That's all you've got. Okay, if you were asked to do that line, maybe like a one-off line in a show, and you go, oh, it's just this line, and you're going, well, right, okay, well, what does it mean? Oh, I don't know what it means, mate. You know, you just got to say it. Okay, what's wrong with you this time? Okay, I'm going to give you about 10 seconds just to have a think about that line. Have a think and think about what that line is saying. Try and get information. Try and work out what it's saying. Okay, so 10 seconds. I'll give you 10 and you can think about it. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you could have actually just paused the video if you wanted to. I didn't really think about that at the time, but there we go. Okay, so right, I want to look at this look at this line, and we'll work out what this is trying to say. You might go, "What's wrong with you this time?" What I don't understand. Believe me, as you go through it, you will then understand that you can analyse these lines and work out what someone's trying to say, and work out how you can act it and how you can perform it. So, okay, the first thing I looked at, right, this line could be said by a male or a female. We don't know. The dialogue points to one or the other. We don't know. Sometimes you might get a bit of dialogue which says, which really does point to a particular gender, and so then you would know that's played by a male or a female. Okay, this line isn't. Look at the words with and ya. Okay, I've used them deliberately because what they do, they give a sense of slang, of casualness. So the person isn't going to be very high class for a start. Whoever says it isn't going to be high class because they don't tend to speak like that. It could be somebody who's under the age, now I could be a little bit tricky here, under the age of about 40. They will probably use this sort of language. People over the age of 40 probably don't. You know, there's exceptions, obviously, and you know, the way the world is changing, that you know, there's a lot more casualness in people that are a little bit older now, and so. But generally, this would probably be said by a younger person. Okay, it could be somebody of a lower class, without getting into class sort of statements. It could be somebody who's a little bit, you know, that they're not quite as high up as they'd like to be, but they're, you know, maybe trying or moving towards it. When you say this time, what does that say? Have a think about this time. This time means that, hang on, this has happened before. This has happened before. You're saying, what's wrong with you this time, is saying, oh, well, this thing has happened before. You may hear an ice cream van go past me, which it reminds me of the time when I think all our parents said, yeah, when you hear the ice cream bells, it actually means the ice cream's run out. Okay, lies our parents tell us. I'll tell you more about a few of those that I've been told at another time, but we'll talk about that some other time. So this time points to something that it's happened before. What's wrong with you this time? Okay, so you're also saying, what's wrong with you? So the other person, there's something you believe, or your character believes, there's something wrong with this person this time. Okay, there's something wrong with you. What's wrong with you this time? It could be, you could be doing it in a like a frustration. You're now starting to get the hang of going, hang on, this line was, what's wrong with you this time, is now starting to take life. You're going, what's wrong with you this time? You know, what is wrong with you? This person could be fed up. You could be doing it in a really angry, what's wrong with you this time? I'm fed up with you. I'm so angry. You know, you could do it in that way. You could do it in a bit of a casual way, a bit of a fed up way. Like, oh, what's wrong with you this time? Take that line. That line has now become alive. Okay, that line has now been given a bit of life to it. Where it was a line before, now it's become something else, because what you've done is you've looked at that line and gone, oh, hang on, what else can I get from it? What else can I understand from it? You will find that the more you do this and the more you analyse things, you will get new life in Peter. Hi, Mark. Hi, Yanis. You're right. Not seen you for a bit. So you get a new life in your acting and in your performing, because you will come in with something that people will go, wow, that's really blown my mind. That's different. It's you've really thought about it. And this is where you have no information. No one's given you any information about this line. So I've written also there's obviously a care factor. For you to say something like this, great, all the noises are going off today, that would be my dinner being ready. But there we go, I don't care, it's all casual, I'm fine with it all. Just ignore that beeping in the background, like I am trying to ignore it. But you obviously care about the person to say the line anyway. Okay, if somebody has said to you, oh, I've broken my leg, and you say nothing, then you don't care. This person obviously cares about this other person they're talking to. Okay, so we've got that. We've got the fact that with and yeah is like casual. It could be friendly for a casual conversation, but also is that this time means that it's happened before, and also now we're looking at, well, they actually care. If they didn't care, they wouldn't even say it. Okay, so I know I've expanded quite a bit on just a line of dialogue that had nothing to start off with, but now all these things you've found that are involved in this piece of dialogue that you can use. When you go and do a reading, a play, a rehearsal, anything, you need to read through and find those little gems that maybe other people have missed. And then if you get asked to do an odd line somewhere, you will then nail it, and people will be blown away by it. Okay, I know this has been a long video, there's been a lot to get through, but I really wanted to get through the whole meat of what I'm trying to say, is that things are written for a reason. We write stuff for a reason. We write our emails because we want to say something. So does a playwright. A playwright or a writer, they write the story because they want to say something. They've got something that they want to say. And again, with this piece of dialogue that I've given you, that it's just a piece of odd dialogue from nowhere. But think of it, if you were looking at a play, then you know how this is written, you know the style, you know if it's a comedy, you know it's a tragedy. And then you look at the lines and you can work out from nowhere what's actually happening. Okay, thanks a lot for listening. Thanks for hanging in with me. As I said, I've got a book. It's called It's All in the Lines. It's available on Amazon and on iTunes. I think the cover's slightly different now because I had it redesigned to make it look funkier. but it's all in the lines by Clive Dancey. It's all there. Please take a look at my other videos.